Welcome to the Generation Why Not podcast with Ruth Klein, a 6-time best-selling author, creative brand strategist, and book coach for small businesses, entrepreneurs, authors, mompreneurs, and professionals today. She is the president of the award-winning firm Expert Celebrity Branding, and the Wall Street Journal calls her the marketing maven. This podcast will be interviewing this generation, those who are doing things differently because of their perceptual shift of what success looks like, and who are driven by attitude, not age. They know anything is possible, and you'll hear how this generation feels the fear and keeps going anyway to achieve their goals and dreams, whether they be in business, sports, the arts, or lifestyle.
Welcome to Generation Why Not. I'm Ruth Klein. Generation Why Not is a new demographic, and there's a shift happening in business that expands the creativity and seems to foster innovation and problem solving on a very large scale. What's particularly important is that this Generation Why Not, is driven by mindset and a heart-centered model, basically focused on attitude and not age. Today, we have a purist of Generation Why Not. Her name is Cali Gilbert. And she's an international best-selling author, award-winning filmmaker. Wait till you hear what she says about that. And photographer. After publishing several best-selling books of her own, she now supports other creatives through her company, Tower 15 Productions. And what I love is that Cali is very passionate about a lot of things. And she's also very passionate in supporting women in transition. And she's an inspirational speaker and very much a transformational writing coach for books, screenplays, and other arenas where writing is paramount. Please help me welcome Cali Gilbert. Hi, Cali.
Hi, Ruth. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I met you, I think it's been now a little bit over a year ago. I was absolutely blown over and impressed with your story and your resourcefulness. You're quite a woman, and I'm so pleased that you're on our show today. So,
oh, thank you. It's been quite the journey.
Yeah, I know. So first of all, can you tell us how you got here today?
Yeah, so probably the last decade, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, but it's been amazing because it's led me to do precisely what I believe I was born to do, and that's to be a creative. I was living in New York, and I had all these degrees, and I was working in event management, and I wasn't fulfilled. I had what looked on paper like the ideal life, but internally I wasn't happy. So I moved to California and started over, and it was amazing because I really then decided to live the life of an artist, which is what I am deep in my soul. And in 2011, I lost everything. And that kind of shifted my life in a new direction, but in a direction that is so authentic and has been pretty amazing.
Wow. And that's 9 years ago.
Yeah. And a lot has happened since. Yeah. I mean, I literally woke up on January 1st of 2012 with nothing, no home, no money, no relationships, alone, but I had this blank canvas. And this canvas was amazing because it allowed me to create the life of my dreams. In doing so, it led to things that I couldn't have even begun to imagine. And I've now published 9 best-selling books. I launched my own production company. I released my first film, which is now an award-winning film. And it just continues to get better. And I feel like very passionate now to be able to pay it forward and support other women.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of give us a little bit highlight on how you ended up homeless with all of that. And then what was the pivotal moment where you thought, okay, I'm not going to be a victim here. I'm going to do something about it. Can you share some of that?
Absolutely. I was in grad school in the University of San Francisco. I had started my own event management company halfway through grad school, and I thought this is the direction I'm going to go. I ended up graduating at the end of 2010 and thought, all right, I'm set. I now have 3 degrees. I have this network. I've got all this experience. But it was the heart of the recession. And for the life of me, I could not find clients and I couldn't find work because I had all of a sudden been classified as overqualified.
Yeah.
And I literally had people tell me, don't put the degree on your resume. You know, we can't afford you. I mean, it's incredible things. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, seriously? I was like, okay.
Right. To get this degree.
I know, right? Yeah. So after, sending out massive amounts of resumes and nothing happening, I ran out of money. I was living in the Bay Area. It's not cheap, and lost everything. I remember being at a point where I was about 7 weeks where I was homeless. I didn't know where I was going to sleep each night. I literally felt as though my body was shutting down on me. And I was at that point of, do I give up or do I start over? Something inside of me really just said, you're not done yet. The artist basically said, you've got this blank canvas, you get to decide. You get to decide what kind of life you want to live. I tell people often, I said, when you're homeless, there's only 2 things that matter. And that is, where am I going to sleep and what am I going to eat? That's it.
Wow.
Nothing else matters, right?
That's amazing, Cali. Talking about, really talking about the most common, the denominator, right? The lowest denominator in terms of what's really important. Think about that. Where you're going to sleep. Yeah, basic survival. Yeah. Where you're going to sleep, and not only what you're going to eat, are you going to eat?
Exactly.
I would imagine.
At that point, I thought, okay, well, I have an idea of what I want. I'm going to set very basic intentions. So I set 3 intentions, and there were 1, I would like to stay in Sausalito, which is where I had been living. And it was this artist community. It was a wonderful place, and I wanted to stay. So that was 1. 2 was I wanted to find a part-time, and I was very specific about this, a part-time job that would pay the bills, but also allow me the flexibility to do what I love, which at the time was writing and photography. That had been my hobbies, my passions, but it never anything that I would consider a job. And then 3rd was I want to be able to wake up every single day and do precisely that, what I love to do. And within 2.5 months, I manifested all of it.
You're definitely what I call a manifester.
Oh, yes. That I have no doubt.
Wow. That's really, really impressive. So, you speak about intention, and in the book Generation Why Not, I spend a lot of time talking about the different types of intentions and what it really means. Can you talk to us about what it meant for you and how you went about doing that? Because the fact that you would even know to do that under those circumstances and then I'm assuming you focused on it. So you can tell us a little bit about how that intentional process worked for you.
I developed a 4-step formula and that I just started living by. And then I ended up teaching in a book that I wrote, my memoir, my first book of my memoir, which is It's Simply Serendipity. And it was basically that number 1 is you need to get clear on what it is that you want. It's very easy to say, I want money and not be specific, and 5 cents shows up, right? So it's all about really getting that clarity and, becoming really crystal clear of what you want. And then step 2 was you need to, whatever it is that you want to do. So at the time I was a writer. I had just gone through the year from hell. I needed an outlet to express my grief, my emotions, everything that I wanted to get out. So I wanted to be able to share my story in a book, but I knew nothing about book publishing. So the step 2 is that you need to learn from those that are doing what it is you want to do, correct? So I had discovered the San Francisco Writers Conference when I was in the midst, while I was homeless, and decided to volunteer. And in doing so, I thought, well, you know what? I have things to offer. I'm a photographer. I have event management experience. I can help these people out And in return, I can learn at the same time, right?
Love it.
And that's how I got involved in the San Francisco conference. Step 3 is that everything you learn, everything that you're taking in, you then need to take action, right? You can't just learn all this stuff and sit on it. So you need to be able to take action, move forward. And then the 4th step is that you need to release the attachment to the outcome, because I think so many times we think, oh my gosh, how's this going to happen? How's this going to happen? We have this huge dream and we focus so much on the how that we then disallow miracles to happen, which I can tell you personally, I've seen many, many miracles happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, that's beautiful. I love that. That breaks it down beautifully. Speaking of miracles, in the relationship department, I think you have something going there, and I think you have something in the film industry going. Can you share a couple of things there?
Yeah, so in terms of when I ended up coming to LA at the end of 2013, and that was a total soul's calling. I had thought I had found a place to live in the Bay Area, and I was so happy. And then literally days before I was about to write the landlord a check, he tells me, oh, I'm so sorry, my current tenants decided to stay another month. And I thought, well, I've got a little bit of money coming in now. I have some books in the market. I'm just going to go to LA. I'm going to go to Santa Monica, and I'm going to lay on the beach for 2 weeks. And then I'm going to do the same thing in San Diego. And then I'll come back and I'll move in November 1st. Well, I got to Santa Monica, and it was beautiful here. And, I figured, well, my whole world's in a box. So, I'm a writer. I can live anywhere I want. I can remember walking down Main Street and thinking, I think I'll stay. And in that moment, it was like the universe said, she's in alignment, and everything shifted. The very next day, I met Elizabeth Gilbert of Eat, Pray, Love fame. And it was instant soul sister. We share the same last name. And we were sharing our books with one another, and it was so great. And then the very next day after that, I was sitting on the beach, met this man who became my very first friend in LA and became my partner and my best friend. We have had an amazing, it was almost 7 years now together, where we've written a book together. We're now working on a film, and it's just amazing how everything led me to being here. So
I remember you telling me the story, and there's a lot more there too. It's just powerful. And then
it is.
Tell us a little bit about this intention that you had with the film.
So the film's entitled Invisible. The film, last year, 2019, I had launched my production company at the beginning of the year and spent most of the year trying to raise funds for a feature-length documentary entitled Pearl, which was about 6 women who had all experienced homelessness and had come together to find success in the arts, but also to find solutions to end homelessness. And so I had put together an amazing cast and crew. I was so proud of what we could do, and I thought it was such a great project. But for the life of us, we could not raise money. It was just nothing was happening, and it was so frustrating because it was like, we have something amazing here. Why isn't this working? Towards the end of the year, I was like, it's not working. I don't feel in alignment with this anymore. And I'm just going to shelve it and, see what happens. I had run out of money. So I thought, well, I should probably look for a job. And one day I was trying to get to a job fair in Culver City. I live here in Santa Monica. And I literally did not have enough money to get the bus to Culver City. And was like, this is crazy. I'm trying to do what I think I'm supposed to be doing, right?
How much is bus fare?
It was like $3.50. I mean, it was ridiculous amounts. Okay.
That something, $3.50. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had nothing. I had like maybe $1 in the bank. It was nuts. I was like, okay. And at first it was like, I'm in total victim mode, right? Going, this is nuts. I'm trying here. But then I thought, wait a second, take a step back and think, what is it that I can do with what I currently have? That was my question to myself. And so I looked down, I said, well, I have a cell phone, I have a computer, and I have editing software, and I have skills, and I have talents, and I know people, and I have legs, so I can walk. If I can't get a bus, I can walk,
Wow.
What can I do? And I'm like, I can make a film. And so I reached out to some of my colleagues who work with the homeless community, and I said, can I interview you? And they're like, absolutely, all here in Santa Monica, so I didn't have to go far. And then I reached out to some friends who are musicians, and I said, look, I want to make this little film, and I need some music. Would you be willing to donate some music? And they all said, yes, of course. And I made this 15-minute short film, which I literally did everything on and edited it and everything, and shot most of it on my cell phone. And it is currently on the film festival circuit. It has already won 2 awards. It has won it's crazy. It's won the Silver Award for Documentary Reality for the Los Angeles Motion Picture Festival, and it has won an award of achievement for the Impact Documentary Awards. And we just had, about a couple weeks ago, the LA premiere at the Chinese Theater here in Hollywood. So.
I know. I was there and I saw it. And oh, wow. And boy, I'll tell you, I'm so happy you let me know that it was showing, because my goodness, it was so impactful. Thank you. So impactful. I mean, it was up close and personal with the homeless situation, knowing your story, knowing you. It's very well done, Cali. Congratulations. And I'm obviously not just saying that, it's winning awards left and right. Here's the upshot. You did that by, again, resourcefulness, not going the other direction of victimhood. What is it I can do? What is it that I have?
Exactly.
I don't have $3.50 for a bus, but I can do this and that. I mean, it's remarkable. It's remarkable what the psyche and your mindset, and it wasn't about lack. It was all about, for you, being in gratitude of what you did have, and being able to integrate your talent with what you did have to create an incredible independent 15-minute documentary.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, I say that there's no excuses. Life is going to throw you stuff, and it's just about overcoming obstacles that stand in your way and doing it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you are the poster child for that. You are the poster child for that. So let me ask you, what is all your beautiful wisdom and your resourcefulness, if you had to share with our listeners one important thing that you would like them to take away, what would it be?
Like I said before, there's no excuses when it comes to following your dreams. You just need to start. You need to take that first step. I mean, I've created amazing things, without any money, with very little resources, because I never lost sight of that end result of what I wanted to create. I knew I could create something amazing, and it was just a matter of taking that first step. And I think it's really important to realize that everything that we need is inside of ourselves. That is so crucial. And it's called our creative genius, and we all have it. It's just a matter of learning how to tap into it. And I think one of the greatest gifts that I've been given over the last decade is being able to learn how to do that. And it's not only taken my writing to a whole new level, but just as a creative, as an artist, it's taken everything to an entirely new level. I don't believe in the impossible. I know that I can create anything, and it's just a matter of really digging deep within myself and doing so.
I love that. And you help others now be able to tap into their creative genius. Can you just share with us how people can get in touch with you and talk to you about that?
So my main website is CaliGilbert.com. Cali, C-A-L-I. My name's on every T-shirt in LA, which is very exciting. Gilbert.com. And I do several ways. So I have online programs. I do a VIP day with clients one-on-one here in Santa Monica, which I love. And then I also have a very special writer's retreat coming up in September for 6 heart-centered women, where it's 3 days, and I will teach them not only how to really tap into that creative genius, but also how to write, market, and publish a transformational book so that they can share their stories with the world.
If anyone can do that, It's you, Cali. It's definitely you. And money is not an excuse.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Cali, thank you so much for sharing your heart and your wisdom and your incredible resourcefulness. And I'll tell you, it serves as a reminder that we can do so much depending on our attitude. We can do so much. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just want to share a few highlights from Cali's interview, what she shared. It's just powerful. And knowing Cali and knowing what she's accomplished and all her books and how she's done it all and her films, and now this particular film, Invisible, and where it's going, it's just surreal in many ways, only because it's so impactful and so beautiful to see that it can be done. I love this piece with intentions because in the book, Generation Why Not, there's so much that I talk about with intentions because we all are focused on intentions. Everything we do is an intention, whether we know it or not. What Cali did, she created 3 intentions. So I'm going to kind of go over what those steps are again because they're powerful. And I'm certainly going to focus in and hone on these as well. Step 1 is really getting clear and being specific in terms of what you want. Crystal clear in terms of what you want. You know, most of us don't really know exactly what we want. We kind of have an idea, but not specific. And Cali is suggesting it needs to be crystal clear. Step 2, we need to learn from those doing what we want to do. It's one of the best ways to learn is to ask people, to read about them, to interview them, to follow them. Step 3, everything you learn, you've got to take action. It's great to have this energetic pull. It's great to be resourceful, but as Cali shared, you've got to take action. That's where all of it, I believe, and I believe Cali as well, is where it comes together. And step 4, and this is a big one, and I know I have to remember this often, release your attachment to the results or the outcome. Because if you don't release your attachment, you're only focused on one possibility, the possibility that you want, versus having the intention, taking action, going in that direction, being crystal clear, and allowing the universe to help you and create momentum in a direction you may never have anticipated, as certainly Cali experienced. And I love what Cali said also. There are no excuses. And it goes back to basically taking 100% responsibility for our thoughts, our beliefs, and our behaviors. How did Cali do it? She never lost sight of what she wanted to create. I think that's probably one of the biggest highlight statements for me, is she didn't lose sight of what she really wanted to create. And she could have easily lost sight of that under the circumstances. Cali has been able to do for herself as well as for others, and that is tapping into the creative genius that we all have, as Cali mentioned. Enjoy this beautiful wisdom and resourcefulness that Cali has shared, and I look forward to our next time together on Generation Why Not.
Thank you for joining Generation Why Not. We look forward to receiving any questions you may have, as Ruth will be answering them on this podcast. Follow Ruth.Klein on Instagram or email rklein@ruthklein.com. Until next time, a short reminder that success is driven by attitude, not age.